Okay, so today we're talking about creative studios that look tiny, and they are not actually. I notice quite often that there are architecture, interior design, industrial design, filmmaking, fashion studios that they have a good thing going on, they have a good business going on, but their website, it's just looking bad, right? It's something that doesn't make sense in a way. It's not working out towards benefiting their business, right? They are, missing that opportunity. They are not paying attention to something that could bring leads, could bring business, could bring, simply more conversion. Let's talk about the why they feel like that, right? Like you're a final user, you're someone that is not in the creative industry, right? And you are landing on this website, right? For some reason, ChatGPT or Googling it. You landed there and you get to the site, and at first glance, you realize something is off, right? That has to do with a couple things. One, I notice, is that they rely on templates. That's just simple enough, right? Templates are all over the place, right? They are everywhere. People use them, and people also are used to them. So when you have a lot of things that are similar, nothing stands out. So you're part of the larger group, and simply doesn't call your attention on or make sense to actually make a decision to buy from them, because it's could be them or this other guy, right? So I think templates are harmful, and I think they are pretty in a way pretty lazy. I know, not created a template means more money or spending more, in marketing and actually spending a lot of time in a new website. But I think for the sake of creative businesses, I think this should change for sure. Another issue I see often is the application of a visual consistency. So overall, I noticed that creative studios don't quite have a thread of visual application, right? So they just put images there, right? They just kind of rely on their cases, and that's it, right? So along with this issue that I see comes the lack of cohesive branding application, and that's probably for another video. But branding makes justice over how, with a systematic approach, you apply visuals, you apply the content, you apply the tone, right? And so branding itself, it's a prior work that allows you, when you actually need to create a website, to make sense for those unexperienced users or new users that are landing to something like you're offering, and that help you kind of push the limits over, and identify yourself in a different way from the competition, from the rest, right? Also, probably for another video in and of itself is case studies, right? Case studies are something that are meant to have a correlation of an internal story within it, right? And it needs to have a start and an end, and it needs to be very, very clear what's the purpose, what are the results. And essentially, what does it mean to be there? But also what happens is there's an overarching story that needs to happen within the case study page or section that needs to tell something about the studio. What's the studio about, right? What types of case studies are there, right? So that speaks about your services, but also the overarching way you do things over in your studio. And that's pretty much the main issues I see within creative studios that are kind of doing okay business-wise, but digital presence-wise, they just suck. All right, if you're navigating some of this and you want to help, feel free to reach out, comment below, or just use the link in the bio. Bye.